Welcome to Talladega. Tonight it's Sweet Home Alabama for the drivers of the Domino's TYJ Cup Series as they take on the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. Sitting just above the start-finish line inside the booth tonight, Tyler Herb, Bucky Burt. I'm Gabriel Wood on the call for tonight's running of the CNC Crafts by Chad Payne 200. Coming off his last win at Watkins Glen, Chad Klinger comes to a polar opposite track looking for his third win in a row. Now, Tyler, I gotta ask, can it be done?
Well, we've certainly seen crazier things happen in this series, and in all honesty, anybody can win this, even Chad Klinger, so anything is on the table. Chad Klinger can win his third in a row, or he could end up with his first DNF on the season. We're gonna find out here tonight.
As we get wound up at qualifying right now, 5 minutes of qualifying, we're approaching the last minute. Speak of the devil, Chad Klinger in that 12 was on the pole. Now Sean Muir in that 00, he's going to take the provisional pole right now. These guys got 3 laps of qualifying to get it done. Ray Schmidt in the third position, 50.9099, so 3 guys inside the 50.0 bracket. Bucky, it's pretty quick times, but qualifying at Talladega, it's just a starting position. It really doesn't matter come race time.
You're exactly right, because I've started dead last at Talladega many times, and before you know it, I've been up there challenging for the lead early in a run. At these restrictor plate tracks in real racing and on sim racing, it does not matter where you start, it's where you finish. And these guys, there's going to be strategy all over the board tonight. And quite frankly, I'm not surprised that Sean Muir is up there battling for the pole. He is, after his race at Watkins Glen getting taken out leading that race, he was on his way to hopefully pick up another win in the Domino's TYJ Racing League. He is out for revenge tonight. He plans at getting the pole, dominating this race, and going out and getting the win for his Pit Stops for Hope Motorsports team.
Yeah, if my memory serves correctly, I believe it was that 00. Sean Muir actually got the win last time we were at a plate track in Daytona, Tyler. So he's got a little bit of momentum. Of course, Bucky has said he gotten taken out in the lead with a lap car coming off track, came back on, and he lost a chance at not even a win, but a good finish, and he's trying to bounce back, and he's got the first part of it done as he's sitting on the pole.
Yeah, it was certainly a tough break for Sean Muir, but in 2 weeks' time, anything can change, and right now as the cars start to get gridded, we're going to take you through the field here, Gabe.
As we've said, 00 Sean Muir, 2 winners of the Domino's TYJ Cup Series on the front row. 00 Sean Muir takes the pole. 2-time winner going for 3 in a row tonight. The 12 of Chad Klinger on the outside in second. Ray Schmidt in the 112 in third. Fourth position is going to go to the 33 of Brad Rose. Joshua Ramos in the 5th position, clocks in with a 50.127 in the 22 machine. Ryan Steinacker in the 48 is going to qualify 6th. 7th is going to go to Brent Rogers. Kevin Fetty, Patrick Elhofer, and Tyler Roberts round out your top 10.
Jim Locking starts in 11th. Gerald Heffley 12th. Jeff Wilkie 13th. Ellery Queen starts in the 14th position. Curtis Aho 15th. Marcus Potts 16th. Philip Meyer 17th. Len McNeese 18th. Dennis Cook in 19th. And rounding out the top 20, Curtis Young in 20th. '21st is going to go to the 70 of Mike Donahue. 22nd,
Gary West and Zachary Duba. Eric Hawk, your 24th, 23rd, and 24th starting positions. 25th, Ivan Jones. Gary Brown in the 26th position. David Gainforth, Justin Anderson in that 16 is going to qualify 28th. 29th going to go to the 420 of Russ Coe. Chad Payne, Steve Cunningham in 31st position. Don Norris, Joe Owen in the 33rd position. David May, your inaugural winner in the Domino's TYJ Cup Series, starts 34th. 35th goes to Robert McFarland. Brent Scott in the 29 starts 36th. 37th is going to go to Bobby Jonas. Judd Danielson, the final car to qualify in the 38th position. 4 provisional starting places. 39th, Justin Faulkner. 40th, Paul Fugit. Dean Finey and Moses Nazrico in the 42nd position. As we roll here underneath, looks like it's going to be 1 pace lap, and we're going to get to 76 laps of racing tonight, Tyler. A lot of time to get it done, but these guys, they're going to be racing from the drop of the green flag. Second plate race of the year, so they know how to race each other around. That was a very clean race by Daytona standards last time we were there, Tyler, so we should expect much of the same.
Yeah, with these extremely cool track temperatures here tonight, there's going to be a lot of grip going into the corners and all over the track, so don't be surprised if immediately we see double file racing throughout the entire pack, maybe even some 3 wide in the middle there.
One thing to look out for, we've seen with this new draft model, the leader is very vulnerable. That outside can get around him very easily if he's got enough drafting help, and he can just pull out in front of him and then duck to the inside lane. So, you know, if somebody's got a strong enough car on that outside lane, they can get it done. And, you know, that 12 of Chad Klinger, we've seen him do it, but he's going to have to pass the only super speedway winner of the year, that 00 of Sean Muir. Speaking of Talladega, we're here at Talladega. The Laughing Clown malt liquor car, the 00 Sean Muir, is going to lead them to the green flag. Green flag in the air. 00 gets a great start off the line. Side by side as they come to the line, 00 gets to it first. 12 of Chad Klinger trying to get that outside lane to form up behind him. 4-car breakaway there on the inside lane. Looks like the 3 of Brent Rogers' last car in there, but he's going to duck in behind. The 8 of Tyler Roberts ducks in to fill that hole. 94 Kevin Fetty on the outside. That Hardy's machine, he's out there pretty much by himself on the outside.
Here comes Chad Klinger with a push from the 33, and Sean Muir is going to try and throw a slight block, but Chad Klinger is coming on strong here. He's up to the door of the 00 of Sean Muir. Drops back a little bit as they enter into the corner. Side by side for that second place between Chad Klinger in the 12 and Ray Schmidt in the 112.
Far behind the 12 of Chad Klinger, the 33 of Brad Rose. He's getting some help from him. That's what we saw in the past few races here on LSRTV on the plate tracks. You know, whether it be Ascor's Hardline or here at Domino's. That outside lane, they can catch up if they got enough help there on the straightaway, but they are nothing for them as soon as they get to the corners. It's just that shortest way around the racetrack. Close racing there, almost get into the side of each other. The 3 of Brent Rogers and the 33 of Brad Rose. That's going to break up the outside lane. In fact, the 12 of Chad Klinger is going to fall in behind Joshua Ramos, who has moved up to 3rd. Ray Schmidt right behind the 00.
Looks like Brad Rose is going to get that break, and he's going to fall in line, which leaves what looks about the top 12 on the field, all single file on the bottom. Looks like this field has decided to run around here, just log a few laps right now and just try and survive the opening laps on the race. Your first side-by-side battle is with Kevin Fetty and the 17 of Philip Mayer, and that's for about 15th position.
Yeah, that's the 94 Kevin Fetty. Pushed behind him, Gerald Heffley in the 28. They're on the outside of the 17, like he said, and the 2 of Marcus Potts, another one of those Talladega Night schemes. It looks like that is the Cougar, the Ricky Bobby Cougar car that's sponsored by me. That's a great thing these guys are doing for the pit stops for Hope paint schemes. That's very creative. Whoever did those paint schemes, they sure did a good job on them.
Yeah, it looks like the entire field here is showing their support for the movie out here, with Sean Muir leading the field, Marcus Potts back there with that me car. And right now, still single file for the most part up at the front here. Marcus Potts going up into the center lane there, but still has a gap to fall into. But Philip Mayer, he's going to fill that hole right now. So Marcus Potts, he's going to drop back, but everybody seems to be really spread out right now on the racetrack.
Yeah, speaking of spread out, last car on the lead lap. It's another one of those Talladega Nights cars, the pit stops for Hogan Gang. Want to go ahead and get through these guys so you know who's driving them. Brent Scott in the 29, driving the Wonder Bread car. That's a good-looking car as well, and he's 9 seconds back from the leaders, and he's on the verge of losing the draft from the 6 of Joe Owen.
Yeah, and it looks like Justin Faulkner, he had a couple of problems trying to grid along with Paul Fugit. The two of them are both shown 2 laps down on the field, so tough break for them to start off, and the 2 drivers there really need a caution to get back into this event. It's still early, it can still be done, but they have a tough climb ahead of them. But back up front, we have Sean Mir going into turn number 3 at nearly 208 miles per hour. They are flying out here right now, Gabe.
Yeah, I think what's allowing these guys to do that is they're all single file, just running a very consistent lane there on the inside of the racetrack. They're able to gain this speed. They come across the start-finish line 204 miles an hour. These guys are absolutely flying, and it seems like everybody's, nobody's really losing the draft except for the guys who, couldn't get off pit road and a couple of guys near the back, but, not too big of a gap between the rest of the field.
Yeah, and the one thing that I'm noticing right now in this race, everybody is hugging the bottom line. Now, there is something called the Q line that people will run if everything gets single file, and you can actually get the entire field to follow suit, which not only is a little bit quicker, but also surprisingly helps to save tires. Everyone's hugging that yellow line, entering and exiting, but if you allow the car to drift up on exit and arc it down into the corners, you can save your tires. And with the speeds everyone is running right now, it just is a little surprising that they're not trying to do that just to sort of help save the tires, because that is a lot of stress going into the corners right now.
Yeah, tires, you wouldn't think they'd play a big deal here, but they sure do. And it's like Steinacker kind of lost it just a little bit back there in the 7th position. He's going to collect it. He's got the 8 of Tyler Roberts bearing down on him in that American flag Budweiser team. That's another good-looking car. All these guys running some pretty nice paint schemes, whether it's new for this series or new for the race, or they've been running them here. They're very creative guys here in the Domino's TYJ Cup Series, and creative, not very racy, Tyler. And we should expect this for a couple laps. Things are settled down. Nobody really wants to move out of the way, and they're just interested in making it to the past halfway and toward the end of the race. And looks like there's one lap down car that must be, that's the 51 of Justin Faulkner on the outside by himself, so he's going to let the entire field go as he rides the outside of the racetrack.
Yeah, right now at this point in the race, it's going to be an easy task getting around them, but later on when we actually see a little bit of the tire wear and people are going to have to start lifting just a little bit, just cracking the throttle, it looks like Chad Klinger almost wanted to take a peek on the outside of the 22 there, but as we get later into the runs, you'll see the cars start moving up the track and they'll be harder to turn entering, and that's where you might see some people start taking opportunities on passing. We're going to bring that field all together, and then we're going to have everyone all condensed together once more.
Well, not to mention, it looks like everybody almost hitting the apron there between 3 and 4, the 48 and the 8 getting there. The splitters there on the apron of the racetrack. 12 of Chad Klinger, he's using it to turn basically, because look at him, he's just rubbing that splitter on the bottom of the racetrack. But not only these guys running single file, it gives them opportunity to pass. Tyler, these guys, once we get side-by-side racing, if they come up on a lap car, it's going to be an absolute cluster trying to get around them.
It can be a very hairy and very scary situation when that happens. You have guys going at a high rate of speed, 200 plus miles per hour. Then you have a lap down car hugging the outside wall, or could be in the center or could be at the very bottom going 190. That closing rate of speed is huge, and if someone's not paying attention, you could end up with a big mess on your hands if somebody hits that lap down car.
Oh yeah, it's going to be absolutely huge. Back to the battle up front. It's not much of a battle, really. 00 Sean Muir, he's picking up where he left off at Daytona, just leading laps and collecting them off, because he's led all the laps here tonight, started off pole, and seeing a little bit of passing here, looking back through the field. There was someone who made quick work, the 19 of Curtis Young. He started in the 20th position, he's up to 12th, so, you know, we weren't double file for very long, but he sure made use of it.
Well, never count out Curtis Young. We've seen in this series that he is one of the faster guys, one of the more dominant ones that we've seen throughout the season. Had a little bit of bad luck here and there, but he's always up front when it counts, and along with Sean Muir, Chad Klinger, those two running in the top 5 right now, they're just the class of the field so far this season. So I would expect...
Oh, the 22 gets spun. Joshua Ramos in front of the field. Steinacker involved. Kevin Fetty, 51 Faulkner, spins there on the infield, slams into the rear end of the 22.
Wow. And, ooh, Zachary Duba almost hits the 3 as he's trying to get by. That is a big mess at the front of the field.
Looks like it's cars involved. At 22, he just got spun there on the entry of the corner by the 12 of Chad Klinger. Klinger, one of the guys to get through it cleanly, he just pulled to the outside and got around. Guys who didn't get through it cleanly, the 3, Brent Rogers, Brad Roast, of course the 22 and the 48. Oh, looks like the 11 and the 8, 11 of Jeff Wilkie and the 8 of Tyler Roberts got together just trying to get around it, so probably 8 to 10 cars involved, at least some sort of damage. 51 of Justin Faulkner kind of just sliding here at the end. Big wreck. I'm looking here on the racetrack. Look at the crab walk by the 22 of Joshua Ramos trying to get back to pit road.
Yeah, just a very unfortunate set of circumstances there. The 22, all he was doing was he was just a little bit higher, and Chad Klinger had that run, barely touched him, and just spun the 22 right in front of the field. It's a good thing they're all single file there, or else that could have been huge.
Oh yeah, the single file that gave these guys an opportunity just to get around. You know, you had some guys on the outside lane. That's a 20-car pileup, especially with the number of cars here with 42 guys and about 37 in that main pack. That could have been absolutely huge, but you know, partly you want to run single file, you know, just kind of run your own race, and partly you just want to make it to the end, and you know that's what's going to help these guys, just running single file if they want to make it to the end. Unfortunately, that caution came out. Just getting spun. It just shows you're really safe nowhere here at Talladega. As pit stop's coming down, 00 Sean Muir. He's got the first pit stop on pit road. Should be an advantage for him as he pulls in. Look for any mistakes sliding in. Looks like your top 4, top 5 perfect pit stops so far. So it's up to the pit crews to come out. Looks like the 12, Ray Schmidt. He's going to take 2 tires. The only car so far to take 2 tires.
Looks like the 00 Sean Muir, Chad Klinger will roll off the first 2 cars with 4 fresh tires. Then Brett Rogers in the 3. He's 1 lap down there actually. Jim Locking comes out. Dennis Cook, Curtis Aho, Philip Meyer coming off of pit road there with 4 fresh tires.
We ran about 10 laps there under green, and will those 2 tires affect him if we end up going green?
Well, right now I don't think it'll be that big of a hindrance to him. It could work out. It's still early, not a whole lot of laps on the left sides there, but I think your next pit stop you're going to want to take the left side tires along with rights, because of how fast these guys are entering the corners. It just really puts a lot of stress on the tires. It's not so much wear, but just the stress with all that speed.
Right here under caution, we get a little break here. These guys, they know what the car's going to be like off the restart on new tires in the pack. I'd expect these guys to race side by side for a little bit. We saw that at Daytona a couple weeks ago, the second race of the season. After Charlotte, very unusual start to the season, started at Charlotte and then go to Daytona for the second week. But these guys, they know how to run it, and maybe they're a little bit more comfortable running side by side, or maybe that caution kind of scared these guys to get singled up a little bit quicker.
Well, Talladega here is a lot wider and doesn't really focus much on handling as Daytona does, so everyone just following in single file, it's just a safety precaution. They just want to log some laps, just keep pace, and have something left to race with at the end of the race here.
As we ride under caution, we're going to take a look at the point standings. Coming into tonight, your only multiple-time winner, Chad Klinger, in that 12 car. He is leading the points right now. Looks like 9-point gap over the 3 of Brent Rogers and Kevin Fetty. So those two guys tied for second place. And looks like both those guys taken out in that wreck, some sort of damage. So going to shake up these points a lot. Nathan Schul right behind. He's 2 points behind those guys. So he's looking to capitalize. Sean Muir, your old leader under that, 3 points behind him, 137 points. So very tight points gap, Tyler. And I'm looking up here at the winnings from this year. Chad Klinger's making some bank right now.
Yeah, Chad Klinger already winning $52 on the season, but was it Nathan Shore that you said was in 4th place in points? Because looking through the field here, I do not see him entered in this race, so this is going to be a huge points day for Chad Klinger if he survives and holds on to get a top 5.
Holds on to get a top 5. He's here to win this race, Tyler. Behind those guys, 53 Ivan Jones, 127 points, 10 points back. 126 Curtis Young, the two Curtises, the Curtis and Curtis show as we like to call it. Curtis Young, Curtis Aho, 1 point separating them. So yeah, close battle. Your winners so far this year, 12 of Chad Klinger, Sean Muir of course. Justin Faulkner in that 51 also has a win this year. Only a few different winners here this year, Tyler. I expect that to change. We got a few more races here in the schedule. Very tight points championship, but also fights for those inaugural wins in the year.
Yeah, and there's actually been an interesting development here under caution. Looking back, Curtis Young, he has left front damage. He got into the pit road too hot trying to get into his pit stall, lost control of the car, and hit the inside of the pit lane wall, now with heavy left side damage.
You got to remember, no fast repairs for these guys, so whatever damage he's got to repair it on pit road. And you try to do it just a little bit, but any kind of damage you get, that's going to screw up your race no matter what. So Curtis Young already at a disadvantage, but that doesn't mean he's not out of this win yet. If you get tucked up behind the right car, you can take it right to the front. We saw that a couple years ago with Kevin Harvick. One of the car was absolutely falling apart, and he drafted with his teammates and got up front.
Yeah, and right now with this big pack racing here, as long as his engine is still running up to full song, that damage won't matter if he's tucked up behind other drivers. So if he can stay in line and play it just right and pull off a slingshot move at the absolute last second, we could see Curtis Young getting the win late in this race.
We could see any of these 42 drivers taking the win. A couple of guys taken out already with the crashes and the laps down, but we're getting back to green flag racing here on lap 16, completing that lap on to lap 17. Tyler, 112 of Ray Schmidt. He's going to take the lead off a two-tire call. Green flag in the air, back underway. Big gap up there up front between the 00 and looks like the 420 of Russ Cohen. Looks like he's going to close that gap there on the outside of the racetrack, but that 12 of Chad Klinger, he's right there on the back bumper. The 112 of Ray Schmidt looks like they're going to get the advantage going into turn 2.
Ray Schmidt pulls out in front with help from Chad Klinger. Sean Muir, he's still holding strong, has a little bit of a gap to drop down, cannot anymore as Jim Locking takes that. And Russ Coe, he's trying to figure out if he wants to go up high or stay down low. Looks like he's going to pull down to the low side. Sean Muir here, he's going to go from second back to fifth in just one lap here.
That shows what can happen if you just kind of lose your drafting partner. And I haven't seen these guys kind of forming up in a two-car tandem, just trying to work his way around each other. We saw with these past few builds, the two-car tandem kind of getting phased out, but he's going to fall back into the fifth position behind 420 Russ Coe. The hole opened up just right for him to get in, and those guys starting to pull away. Look at the 41 of Robert McFarland. Started 35th, Tyler. He's up to 6th. And right behind him, the 38 of Judd Danielson, or the 85, started 38th.
And behind him, the 35 of Bobby Jonas started 37th on the night. And as we were talking about in the opener here, it doesn't matter where you qualify, but where you finish. We have 4 guys starting outside the top 30 who are up inside the top 10 right now. Russ Coe started 29th. He's running in 4th place right now, and looks like on the high side we have Judd Danielson trying to make even more moves.
All right, now some of you... Now, as some of you may remember, a few weeks ago, the Domino's TYJ Series ran a benefit race for our producer, Laura Lawson. The driver who won that 500-mile race was a young man by the name of Dylan Brockwell. A few days ago, he was sent into a coma after complications from a routine dentist visit. Well, it's with heavy hearts, I must say, that Dylan passed away earlier today. Just like the driver he was, he put up a fight until the end, and as a tribute to him, his number in iRacing and his real-life racing number was number 20, so we'll take a silent lap here on the 20th lap to remember our dear friend. Dylan, this is for you. Well, as was said by Tony Kanaan on the passing of Dan Weldon, it is for this reason that I'm not saying goodbye, because goodbye is final. So today I say, see you later. Dylan Brockwell, aged 21. looking live here at the replay. The 54 Dennis Cook gets turned in front of the field. Hard hit for him. Eric Hawk, 38 of Curtis Aho. Big hits for some of the field. He got turned, looks like on the front straightaway just past the start finish line. Gonna have to see who turned him. Looks like the 112 of Ray Schmidt. They went 3 wide there through the tri-oval, and the track just kind of narrowed up for the 112, and he came up into the 54 and spun him, and as soon as he corrected it, turned up into the field. Hard hit. Looks like only 3 or 4 cars involved. Looks like the 84 piles in here at the final moment. Hard hits for these guys. Lap 25, Tyler. Back under caution again.
Yeah, just another unfortunate event here at the front of the field. I'm surprised we're seeing so much chaos at the very front of it, and both times right around the second place driver. So it doesn't seem like anywhere is safe right now. But as we went to commercial, we saw Chad Klinger jump out to the front of the field again, and Chad Klinger is now leading this race.
We just crossed the 1/3 mark here. 76 laps in here, on lap 25 right now, so you may as well call it 1/3. As everybody's pitting again. 12 of Chad Klinger. At the 85, Judd Danielson. Everybody coming in yet again. Is anybody going to take a chance on 2 tires? Because we saw it kind of worked out for the 112 of Ray Schmidt. He got some track position and got up front, Tyler.
It worked out for him, and he stayed up there, but unfortunately was part of that accident. So we might see some sort of strategy. At 85 of Judd Danielson, he drove through pit road, and it looks like Chad Klinger, he decided to go with 2 tires that time by. Not sure if the 85 had missed his pit box or what, but he's might have to come back down, and it looks like Chad Klinger took left side tires this time, so Chad Klinger staying out on about 10 lap old right side tires.
Couple guys making up some positions on pit road. 88 of David May and Gary Weston in the 14, running in the 4th and 5th position right now as they run. Philip Meyer in the 17, he takes the lead for a lap as we ride here under caution. We're going to have to wait to see if he pits this time or not. And also that 85 of Judd Danielson, that may have just been a strategy call by him to not pit and make everybody think he was coming to pit road and just drive through it.
Well, we'll find out here shortly if those were mistakes or planned calls, but right now the first car that came off pit road with tires would be Chad Klinger, and back up towards the front, Curtis Young. He's currently sitting in the 8th position.
Yep, Curtis making it through that wreck. You can see that damage right there. The hood basically curled up over itself from what I can see, and heavy damage. Looks like a car you could probably take to victory lane at Martinsville.
And coming back down pit road, Judd Danielson, I think he just missed his pit stall because he has one of the first pit boxes there on pit road as you enter. So he's now getting right side tires, and looks like he's going to get a 4-tire stop here along with David May, who also came down pit road, who was running in the 6th position.
Philip Meyer in the 17. He's going to stay out here.
Philip Meyer, he stays out on the field, trying to do some strategy by just staying out there. Chad Klinger, as we've said, he's on 2 left side tires. Then Sean Meir, Gary Weston, Marcus Potts, Jim Locking, Curtis Young, all now on 4 fresh tires.
We catch up with one of the drivers in the field, Curtis Young, 19 car. You got us here up in the LSRTV booth?
Yes, I do.
All right, Curtis, you got a little damage on that 19 Ford Fusion, but it's not seeming to hurt you. You're up here inside the top 10, making it work, starting in the 20th position. Stayed up here basically the entire race. How do you feel about your car?
Well, I kind of messed it up on pit road. I hit the wall and just completely made a huge mistake. Had a minute's worth of damage to repair. I still don't think the car is completely back up to snuff, but if I can stay in the draft and maybe have somebody that's not damaged pushing me, might still have a good shot. Stayed out here to gain some positions, so see how that goes.
Right here under caution. What's your opinion? We had a little bit of best of both worlds right now. We've got we had the first part of the run, the single file running, and then we got the big side-by-side racing. Do you think these guys, what path should they take? Kind of running single file or racing for the win from the drop of the green flag?
Sorry, I couldn't hear. My sister was yelling.
10-4. We saw these guys early in the race from the drop of the green flag. They kind of formed up single file. Do you want to run like that, or would you rather have a little more entertaining race and run side by side?
I'd rather run single file, but it's going to end up side by side. After a few more laps, I'd imagine we're coming up on the halfway point, so.
All right, Curtis, you're behind one of those pit stops for Hope cars. Looks like you got the Cougar in front of you. I want to go fast. I think you got the same mentality as we ride down here on the back straightaway. Hopefully we'll get to talk to you in victory lane. Curtis, good luck on the restart.
Thank you, I hope so.
As the field starts to line up 2 by 2 again for this restart, your leader right now, Philip Meyer in the 17 NIPSCO car, and Chad Klinger to his outside in the Sherwin-Williams number 12. Both drivers have been strong here the past couple of weeks. Your 2 most recent winners, Chad Klinger at Watkins Glen, Philip Meyer winning the truck race in a dramatic finish out in Iowa. Both drivers know how to get it done, get into victory lane. Which one's going to get it done here tonight, or will someone else come up through the field and snatch the victory away? We're going to find out in less than 50 laps here as the field gets stacked back up. Right now, interesting move by Gary Weston. He is hanging way back from the number 12, leaving a huge gap. Not sure what's going on right there, but as the green flag flies, Philip Meyer leads the field to the line. He's going to get a nice little jump there. The number 2 of Marcus Potts giving Sean Muir a big shot going down to turn number 1. But Chad Klinger, he's going to fall right in line. Gary Weston in the 14 is going to start pulling to the outside, racing side by side for 3rd and 4th place right now.
Yeah, that 14 car chugging along there on the outside of the racetrack all by himself. Next car behind him looks like that is, would that be that's the 91 Jim Walking way, all the way behind him. There's Chevrolet SS. So Gary, he's got no work behind him. He's got nobody to work with, but now he's got that hole there on the bottom of the racetrack behind Marcus Potts. Pulls down, goes onto the apron a little bit of an erratic move. He wanted to make sure he got in that hole.
Yeah, and that was a interesting restart to say the least right there. I'm not sure if the 14, what exactly was going on. I would have thought that he would have wanted to pull up right to the back of Chad Klinger, but he just held back there, but still worked out for him. He pulls down into line into 5th place right now.
I can tell you guys as a league official here, that is uncalled for, and I'm pretty sure he will be reprimanded for laying back on the restart.
That voice you hear, that's Bucky Burt, eyes in the sky for the Domino's TYJ Cup Series, and also driver analyst and color commentary up here in the booth, as you heard the past few weeks. Bucky finally got into the racetrack to officiate and commentate. Welcome back.
Thanks. I've been hanging out watching the melee, letting you guys do your work. By the way, doing a superb job. But interesting race so far, guys.
Interesting to say the least. 17 Philip Meyer, no tires, just did not pit. If we go green, that's going to put him at a huge disadvantage. 12th car, Chad Klinger looks to the outside, takes the 00 with him. 2 of the Talladega Nights cars up there, the 2 and the 00, Laughing Cloud Malt Liquor, and that Me sponsorship. They're trying to get something working. This looks like the 112 of Ray Schmidt on the outside back here in the pack. We're 3 wide for just a moment. Contact with the 91. They're hard racing. That you'd expect that at Bristol and Martinsville. You wouldn't expect door banging here at Talladega.
Yeah, they were side by side, up off the bottom, very tight racing there. From some of the drivers sitting behind them, they might think a bit unnecessary if one of them got turned, but everything's sorted out. Ray Schmidt drops into the 9th position as the top 10 very spread out right now. 5-car breakaway at the front. Philip Meyer, Chad Klinger, Sean Meir, Marcus Potts, and Gary Weston, your top 5. And then 6th place with that little bit of damage on the left front is Curtis Young. I'm not sure if that might be holding up the rest of the field there right now, but just about half a second gap between the first and second group there. Everyone's still running single file and right in line. Your first battle out on track here is towards the end of this second pack for about 16th, 17th, 18th, between the 15, the 8, and the 16, I believe.
These guys fighting for a spot inside the top 20. Yeah, Tyler, that's a good point. That 19 could be holding that inside or that second pack back, because we've seen that's a lot of cars in this pack, and they should be able to catch him, but he's just like a big old parachute in the front of this pack. They're not able to make up any ground. At 70, Mike Donahue, he's not even any worse for wear either. He's got a little damage on the front of the car, not as severe, but they're going to need some of these cars, like maybe that 91. Or one of these guys, maybe the 420, to get up here and lead this pack with no damage, see if they can catch him. Meanwhile, that 5-car breakaway, 4 Chevys and a Ford, they're just smiling and laughing and driving away.
Although, right now, we're seeing a big push on the outside of the second pack. That's Ray Schmidt leading the outside with Zachary Duba in the 24 Coors Light machine and Gerald Heffley in the 28 Haviland machine. They are making a push. They want to get to the front of this pack. They don't want to get held up. They want to get right up with that first pack before they get too far away.
Going back to that restart, Bucky, if we can grab you here for just a second away from your official duties again. If we get another restart, are you going to be coming over the horn telling these guys, right up, half a car length, tighten it up, or are you just going to kind of wait and see if these guys kind of correct it by themselves?
Well, we always want to give the drivers the benefit of the doubt in this league. We've got a great group of drivers here, but we do stress that they need to line up, and we know that restarts can be treacherous on iRacing, or any racing for that matter. Basically, what we want these guys to do is to line up, double file, try not to put a huge gap so you can get a run, because sometimes it can be an advantage. Fortunately, it did not work in Gary Weston's to his advantage tonight by laying back, because he's lost the draft here. But I mean, he's solidly got a top 5 position at the moment. But what we try to do is we try to tell him to lock, to tighten it up, and if you do it again, then you may face a penalty. But we want to play by the rules in this league, and that's what we stress.
While that was going on, I may as well go out and buy a fortune cookie or bet on something, because I called it. That's that 24 Zachary Duba. He worked his way around the 70 and the 19. He's up here in the front of this pack. He's trying to bring him back. See if they can get a little hint of the draft. At this point, they're just outside that range. But if they can get caught up, we're going to have a big old pack again.
Yeah, that second pack is flying right now. And Gary Weston, he's barely hanging on now to that first group there. We're going to go across the line here. And your leader, Philip Meyer, 47.2. The second pack ran a 47.1 off of Zachary Duba. They are slowly catching right now, but they have a huge pack of cars, a lot of power in that line. They could, if they can catch that draft off of Gary Weston, that line is going to pick up even more speed and close in on that front 5.
Well, Tyler, I talked about this before. That 14 of Gary Weston, he wants to stay up there with the top 4 drivers. Is he kind of acting like a parachute, because how the draft works, air kind of skips over the rear spoiler and goes over it and goes to the front of the next car behind. with him, kind of lagging back, that air's got somewhere to go, and it's going to hit that front of the car, and it may disrupt it a little bit. If these guys, there's a little bit of speed difference, about 2 miles an hour. Could that be caused? I know there's a lot more cars in that second pack, but is he, kind of hurting his cause right now for the rest of these guys?
At this point, not really. I think the draft really starts to pick up once you're within about a second or 8/10 in between there, where you really start to feel the effects. Right now, Gary Weston, he's not really causing a big parachute effect for that second pack. And the top 4 now, they're running consistently. They all have undamaged cars. But if Marcus Potts starts to slip here, then you might see a little bit of a different story. But right now, it looks like Gary Weston, he is starting to fall and fast. But that time around, the 17 of Philip Mayer, he ran a 46.9. Zachary Duba, 47.2. So the top 4 aren't really feeling any negative effects.
Well, we just passed halfway, 1 lap ago. So Tyler, we get a chance, everybody running single file. We're going to go ahead and run through our iRacing Midway race break, sponsored by iRacing.com. Philip Mayer, your leader right now in that 17 car. He did not take tires, or he did not even pit under the last caution, so he's going to be our leader right now. Chad Klinger right behind, 2-time winner this season, going for 3 in a row. In second, Sean Muir in the 3rd position. Marcus Potts in the 2 and 4th. Gary Weston sliding back to that second pack in 5th. 6th place, Zachary Duba. Gerald Heffley in the 28. In 7th, Ray Schmidt, Curtis Young, and Mike Donahue in the 10th position.
Tyler Roberts is running in 11th place. Chad Payne in 12th. David Gainforth runs 13th. Jim Locking 14th. Robert McFarland runs 15th. Russ Coe in the 420 car is 16th. Steve Cunningham 17th. Justin Anderson in the Dylan Brockwell tribute car runs 18th. Judd Danielson 19th. David May in 20th.
Don Norris is 21st. Ivan Jones 22nd. 23rd will be Joe Owen. 24th will be Brent Rogers, and rounding out the drivers on the lead lap in 25th is Jeff Wilkie. First car 1 lap down is Ellery Queen. Second car lap down will be Brad Roast. And our first car 2 laps down, our only car, is Curtis Aho in the 28th position. 29th is 3 laps down, that's Brent Scott. And in 30th, your 4 lap down car is Bobby Jonas.
30th right now is the 71, Dean Viney in 31st position, 5 laps down. 32nd right now, Liv McNeese in the 84. Dennis Cook, we saw him get spun in front of the field. He's 15 laps down now, so he's out of the race in the 33rd position. 34th, Eric Hawk, Gary Brown, Moses Nezrico saw him start with a provisional. Justin Faulkner in the 37th position. 38th, Ryan Steinacker, Joshua Ramos, Kevin Fetty, and Patrick Elhofer round out your top 41. And Paul Fugit, looks like he only ran a few laps and pulled it in, so starting park effort from the 45. Paul Fugit in the 42nd position. This concludes your iRacing Midway race break. For more information on the racing possibilities across the web, visit iRacing.com and sign up today.
You know, guys, since we're halfway and we just finished our halfway break, I've got to look at my 2 drivers in the Pit Stops for Hope team, the 00 of Sean Muir and the number 2 of Marcus Potts, running 3rd and 4th. They designed it to where they would run together, all of the Pit Stops for Hope drivers. Unfortunately, Brent was caught up in an accident. He's a couple of laps down. But right now, we've got Sean Muir and Marcus Potts working well together, running 3rd and 4th. And I guarantee you they'll be making a move here to take over the lead and real soon. As you see, Sean Muir and Marcus are starting to ease up in the turns to see what kind of a run they can get. But look for them to make a big move late in the going here to try and claim a 1-2 finish for Pit Stops for Hope Motorsports.
But 00 Sean Muir, the first of those drivers in that Laughing Clown 00, he's been pretty much a founding member, really. He's been here since the start. That 2 of Marcus Potts, he qualified for this series late, and he's made a big impression on basically everybody in the league since he started running in the last few recruitment races. Lucky, I know you got to be proud of your rookie driver.
Yeah, most definitely. And one thing that I'm really proud about Marcus is he showed himself, unfortunately not last week at Watkins Glen, but he showed himself to be a good road racer. So when we got Marcus on our team, we actually picked up a well-rounded driver. He is fast everywhere. Hopefully he can work out getting the bad luck off of his bad luck monkey off the back of his back, and it looks like he's doing that right now by running fourth in fourth place behind teammate Sean Muir. We're glad to have all these guys on our team.
Yeah, that's one thing your team unfortunately has kind of run into the past couple weeks with Sean Muir getting taken out at Watkins Glen and the two of Marcus Potts just having all-around bad luck everywhere. Great runs all the time as 00 pulls to the outside. Bucky, no help from the two right now. He's going to fall back in line. Just wasn't the right time, Tyler. I'm going to go back to you. These guys got a 4-car breakaway, 6 seconds. We should maybe one more pit stop here is in the cards. 00 pulls out again, and yep, here they come. 17 to pit road by himself.
I was just going to make this point, Gabe. I'm not sure how much longer the 17 can go. He did not pit, which means his last pit stop was all the way back on lap 12. And we have 3/4 of a tank fuel cell here. So you're probably only going to be able to make about 30 laps under green flag. Now, Philip Mayer, he does not have to pit anymore tonight as he takes 4 tires, but I was just thinking he might have to make a pit stop shortly, and we just saw he dives onto pit road. The only problem is he did not have a whole lot of help, but as he comes off the pit road, he has the 28 and 19, two strong drivers of Curtis Young and Gerald Heffley to sort of help him out here, but that was a risky call for him coming down all by himself, but he had no choice.
And Gary Weston also came down with him. But Gary obviously did not get back out as he goes a lap down.
Yeah, it's very lucky he got out there with a couple of drivers to run with, and 28 kind of just got a little bit squirrely there. But Bucky, that's going to leave 2 of your cars sitting there with the 12 of Chad Klinger in front of them, so they got to be thinking, as soon as we pit, we need to come together and just kind of push our way past while we're running by ourselves to get past.
Yeah, even though the Chad Klinger is not a teammate to Sean Muir and Marcus Potts, I can guarantee you they're going over the radio in regular sim chat to try to work out a plan to where these 3 drivers just stick together and race it out for the finish, because they have a commanding lead on 4th place.
As we sit here, we got a couple more laps till we get to some green flag pit stops here. We're going to pay a few bills here. The Domino's, proud sponsor of the Domino's TYJ Racing Series on LSRTV. With Domino's new Piece of the Pie rewards, you can earn a free pizza after just 6 online orders of $10 or more. Sign up at www.dominos.com/rewards. Domino's, oh yes we did. And a little sponsorship close to our hearts. The Bucky Burt Show airing on Monday nights at, Bucky, what time?
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
7 p.m. From Charleston. Listen to all the NASCAR talk from last week and hear the info from the inside of the sport. Check it out at BuckyBurtRadio.com. We'd also like to thank Lions Club International when it comes to meeting challenges. Lions response is simple. We serve. With more than 1.4 million members in over 200 countries, in hospitals and senior centers, in regions battered by natural disasters, in schools and eyeglass recycling centers, Lions are doing community volunteer work, helping, leading, planning, and supporting. Because we're local, we can serve the unique needs of the communities we live in. And because we're global, we can address the challenges that go beyond our borders. Go to bealion.org to find out more. Proud sponsor of Live Sim Racing TV. Here, completion lap 49 on to lap 50 right now. 26 laps to go when we go back around. We're inside one pit stop to go. If these guys have, kind of shown their hand how far they can go, Tyler. And that second pack, they're 6.7 seconds back. Almost no hope really of catching these guys. I'm surprised, a 3-car tandem is able to pull away from a big pack like this.
Well, that 3-car group has really been able to work together well. They've been able to stay on each other's back bumpers, not really move around. And that second pack, they just really want to get racy. But I've noticed one thing here. Philip Mayer, he has one of the strongest cars out there. When he was leading the pack and leading the laps out front there, he was clicking off, helping that small group click off 46.9 second laps. Now that he's not in front of them, that front group has fallen off a couple tenths. They've been running 47.2s, 47.3s, 47.5s even. So that 17 has a very strong car right now. And if he can get back up there, he's going to be one of the ones to watch out for this win.
Well, Tyler, you need to watch out for him right now because first two cars off the lead lap, the 112 Ray Schmidt, 17 Philip Meyer, running right here behind this lead, the three lead drivers. Those two leading the charge with the 28 and the 19 right behind Gerald Heffley and 19 of Curtis Young. All those guys one lap down looking to catch the leaders, and they've been tracking them down bit by bit, but time's going to run out by the time these guys need to make pit stops, but they've already got some good momentum.
Yeah, they are slowly for 0.3 of a second. Then that three leaders out there, but that second pack of cars has really started to spread out. Now it looks like it went from a large, almost 20 car pack to now separated into slightly smaller groups. We have a 6 car pack, a 3 car pack, and then another 3 car pack instead of everybody being all together. And with this tire wear starting to take effect on these cars, they're starting to move around, lose a little bit of momentum, and they're starting to really separate from everyone.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed real quick while we've been focusing on the guys at the back is that it looked like Marcus Potts was actually losing some ground on teammate Sean Muir and Chad Klinger, but right now he's back right up to the back bumper of Sean Muir. I guess these guys are trying to figure out when to come down to pit road. Looks like Chad, they're going to come down right now. And it was almost a disaster.
Oh, the 112's going around. Caution.
We got a big wreck, guys.
Big wreck on the front straightaway. Cars trying to pit, and they end up getting spun. A couple of guys made it on pit road. Oh, one more car gets spun out trying to slow down. 16 through the grass. He's going to collect the 101. Big wreck here on the front straightaway. Looks like that was the 62 also involved in there. Big junk after the caution.
A very tough break, and that all started when without even seeing, I didn't see any notification at all, but the 12, the 00, and the 2 all decided to come down onto pit road. Didn't see anybody notify anyone else. The top 3 were pitting, and 12 had to take evasive actions around the 2, spins out, and people trying to slow down to try and avoid the 112, the 62, the 16, and I believe the 101 of David Gainforth. The 3 of them all get collected then, just trying to avoid the 112 of Ray Schmidt.
Who this helps out the most is Philip Meyer. He was a lap down right as the leaders were coming to pit road. He was in that pack that got caught in the wreck, but he was able to get ahead of the leaders before the yellow flag came out. So he actually got back on the lead lap before the caution flag flew. Look for Philip Meyer to work his way up the field and be a contender for the win.
Now, also here, Sean Muir, Chad Klinger, Marcus Potts, the 3 of them were on pit road as the caution flew, and with how large this track is, they were able to get their pit stops completed, and they won't have to come down pit road now. So the 3 of them are sitting in very good position to make up time and not have to come down pit road. The top 3 there going into pit stop should now be your top 3 leading, with Philip Meyer sitting in 4th place.
All right, as we re-rack the running order, we're going to go LSRTV non-stop here on Live Sim Racing TV from Talladega. It's the CNC Crafts by Chad Payne 200. We'll be right back here from the World Center of 2.66 mile racing, Talladega Superspeedway. Back here live, running order getting re-racked. Big shakeup after guys started their pit stops, and a wreck right there as the guys entered. Sean Muir gets back to the lead. 53 Ivan Jones right behind him. Still waiting to see how that sorts out as we come back across the line. 70 Mike Donahue scored in the third position. That was a big wreck here, Tyler. We're sitting just under 20 to go, and that wreck kind of sets us up for a very exciting finish.
Yeah, there won't be any more pit stops now for the leaders. Everyone has enough fuel to make it, and we're going to have a shootout here of under 20 laps to go to decide your winner. And with each lap that ticks off, we're just going to see that field get closer and closer together, and maybe even the possibility of another big one here tonight.
Yeah, that's always a possibility here at Talladega, whether it's lap 1 or lap 76. We close in. Looks like we're going to get the lights on the pace car out. Looks like they are, so we're going to be going back racing this time by. We ride here down the back straightaway. Look at the front windshields of these cars, very dirty. Just noticing that. Windshield tear-off's an important thing here. Ivan Jones, hadn't talked about him all night, and that very interesting camo paint scheme up there on the top side of the racetrack. Looks like Roush Performance. It looks like the 70 Mike Donahue there on the inside. The 17 Philip Mayer there on the outside. Like Tyler talked about, won the Truck Series race at Iowa. He's on a roll a little bit. Last time we were out, he won the race, and he's looking to go 2 in a row, and so is the person a couple rows back. We're looking for him. Bova Chad Klinger back to the 13th position after that big old dust up there on the entrance to pit road, but Sean Muir in that 00, he is out front, hopefully for the final restart of the night. Lap 57 right now, going to complete it onto lap 58. American Childhood Cancer Association pace car pulls onto pit road, looking for the green flag. Yellow still in the air. Green flag is waving here at Talladega Superspeedway yet again. So here they go. 00 gets a good restart. 53 is going to be able to pull to the bottom side of the racetrack. Look for no single file here. These guys are going to be going for the win from the drop of the green flag till the checker flies, Tyler.
Yeah, it was an interesting restart there. It looked like the 53 was just trying to spot where the 00 was gonna go and stacked up the top side just a little bit, but Philip Meyer, it doesn't affect him right now. He dives it down to the bottom. He's on the inside now, going down the backstretch into turn number 3. 53 of Ivan Jones and 28 of Gerald Heffley trying to work that outside line right now, but out front, Sean Muir holds the field once more as the 70 of Mike Donahue runs in second place. Here comes Philip Meyer. He's got a nose. He has to back out of it. 70 moves up the track a little bit. He's going to fall back in line. We could have seen another big mess there on the front stretch.
Tyler, what I'm watching here on this restart is I'm watching the 2 of Marcus Potts and the 12 of Chad Klinger, the 2 guys that were running in first and third in that run. I'm watching them work their way back up through the field and try to get back up with Sean Muir. And right now, they are all over the racetrack battling for position, going 3 wide, 2 wide, trying to find room. Marcus Potts down on the bottom, Chad Klinger in the middle, and another pit stops for Hope teammate, the number 29 of Brent Scott. He may be there to help out Marcus Potts. Look for him to try and make his way up to the front, even though he's a couple of laps down.
He's going to try and make it work. That outside lane, 28 pushes way high behind that 53 Ivan Jones. So very unstable car for that 28, the Havoline Chevy. Right behind him, looks like, who's that? Trying to find the number on that car. Looks like the 88 of David May. He's working his way back up front. He's trying to get his second win of the year. Hasn't won since the inaugural race at Charlotte. He's hungry for it, and he's trying to make it work. And one person going for his inaugural win, league owner Robert McFarland, that 41, running solidly inside the top 10 for now. And he's having a good run. He gets a lot of those. He just doesn't have the luck he needs to finish up there. But these plate tracks, the great equalizer. All he needs is a little bit of luck, and looks like he's getting it with these cautions, and he's up here in the top 10.
Look at who's running right there in third, Philip Meyer, the guy that was so strong leading this race until he had to come to pit road. Told you that caution ended up being a blessing for him. He was able to get his lap back before the caution flag even flew. So look for him to be there to make moves for the win. Right now we've got a strong lane up top battling for the lead against Sean Muir.
Ivan Jones to the outside lane. That Ford Fusion getting a big push, but it's not going to happen. Inside lane's going to prevail side by side for the second position. 70 Mike Donahue. Damaged nose on that 70, the Miller Lite, or that Miller Chevrolet, trying to get behind that 00 Sean Muir. Outside lane's got 4 cars in it. Bottom side has got 3 cars in it. Outside lane coming again, but as soon as they get to the corner, it just doesn't happen for him. He's going to have to get to that back bumper and push.
Yeah, watch what Sean Muir does here. As they come off the corner, now Ivan Jones, he's going to get a big push out of the corner. They're going to be side by side down the backstretch, but here comes the 70 giving a push to Sean Muir in the 00 as they enter turn 3. Now, if Sean Muir does it again, just watch off of turn 4. He might move up the track. There he goes. He moves up the track to try and break the momentum, but the 70 has a head of steam. He's going to get to the inside. He's going to get side by side. The 70 of Mike Donahue is going to lead that lap. Here comes Philip Meyer, almost making it 3 wide, almost making contact with the 53.
New leader 70 Mike Donahue for the first time in this race started the 21st position. He is up to the lead. 17 Philip Meyer started 17th, right up there on his back bumper. For the first time in this race, we've seen Sean Muir stuck on the outside of the racetrack. He's got that 53 of Ivan Jones, that Mossy Oak paint scheme, trying to work on that outside. Close racing up there at the front. David May to the inside of the 00 Sean Mears. So Sean's sliding back. There goes the 17 on the outside. He knows that 00's got a strong car. He's looking for the push. Here we go through the front straightaway. 17 Philip Meyer back to the lead.
Two of the fastest cars hooking up together, Philip Meyer and Sean Meir, and they're going to walk away, it looks like, a little bit from the number 70 of Mike Donahue. Philip's going to try and get back in the front, drop down, but he can't clear. This is one heck of a battle for the lead, guys.
Right down the back straightaway, lap 64, just about to hit 10 to go in a few laps. Philip Meyer in that 17 is clear. He's clear to move down the whole racetrack. 00 is also clear. They're going to pull down. Close fight for the 70. He's going to barely get in there. The 53, Ivan Jones, going to left out there to dry there on the outside lane.
David May checks up big going into turn 3. I thought he almost was thinking there was going to be a wreck right in front of him with the 70 and 00 almost making contact. We saw it before at the front of the field entering turn 1. But right now, everyone tries to settle it down, go single file, but David May in the 88 and 5th position, he's taking a peek to the outside. He might try to make a move going down the backstretch. Here comes the push as we ride on board with the number 9 of Chad Payne. Right behind that number 88, pushing them through turns 3 and 4, lap car all the way up against the wall. Chad Payne trying to help the 88 of David May get that outside line moving. Mike Donahue thinks twice about putting the block up there. Here comes the 88 trying to get ahead of steam towards the front.
Not a Chad Payne, he's the race sponsor, so you know he wants to get the win in his own race. He put the money up. He wants to take that money. And look right behind these guys, that 19, Tyler. You pegged it right. He's back up here in the fight for the win yet again. 19, Curtis Young.
Curtis Young back up to the front, but take a look who's caught back up to the pack and is riding in the middle of it, trying to slice his way through the field. Number 12 of Chad Klinger, currently in the 13th position. He is side by side with the lap down car of Zachary Duba in the 24, but don't count out Chad Payne yet. He's working with Robert McFarland, trying to get that outside line to work for the two of them, trying to get back up to the front.
Big push from Chad Klinger. He almost gets the 41 loose there on the outside lane. Looks like Chad's ducking down to the inside. He's finally going to pull down 54 Dennis Cook, that Aris Toyota, to the outside of the racetrack. That's going to leave the 9 and the 41 out there by themselves. Big shakeup there. Cars just kind of snaking their way down the back straightaway. 70 Mike Donahue's got a big push from the 53 Ivan Jones, but he can't do anything with it. 53 pulls to the outside. Jones trying to get that lane working. 70 Mike Donahue trying. Oh, he's going to spin him. Can he hang on to it? He's going to spin it. Oh, he's going to come back in front of the pack. Everybody misses him. Amazing. Everybody misses the 70 of Mike Donahue.
Mike Donahue is going to come back onto the track. He's going to... Ooh, splitting him. What a save. Unfortunate for Mike Donahue. But
we got a big wreck, guys. Big wreck in the back of the pack. I'm sorry to cut you off, Tyler. We got a big wreck.
Duba up and over. Zachary Duba up and over against the wall. Lap down car 24 up against the wall.
I was watching Marcus Potts trying to work his way through the field, with Chad Klinger, and I think Chad Klinger might have got a piece of that action too. Marcus was able to escape with no damage now.
Yeah, it looks like the lap down car, the 24 Zachary Duba.
Him into the top 10 as they run right.
The 28, that is Jared Heffley, that 28 car, that Havoline Chevrolet. Gets into him, pushes him, and he gets nailed. Chad Payne right there. Marcus Potts gets through it for the time being, having to wait and see if he gets caught up at any point. No, so Bucky, good job by your driver making it through that. The lap down car getting involved with the race leaders and ends up taking out a person inside the top 10.
Yeah, unfortunate for some of those guys, but definitely fortunate for my guy, that's for sure.
Well, as we ride here under caution, we're going to get a few laps here. at the end of this race, maybe 2 to 3 green flag laps, Tyler.
Now, if you thought the racing there was tight, just wait until they go back to green here. This is going to be for the win. Everyone will be leaning hard on each other, trying to get whatever run they possibly can. This is not over.
Oh, not over by now. If one car pits up front and everybody else stays out, Tyler, everybody's made their bed by a long shot. A couple cars making their way to pit road, but it would not be a smart decision. Ryan team Philip Meyer used a little bit of pit strategy to get up front, and when I say pit strategy, didn't even hit pit road there on the second caution. Ends up working his way into the front of the field, and he stayed up there. He's doing a good job here. He's going for 2 in a row, won the Truck Series race, as we've mentioned a couple times. He's showing himself. He's got some momentum. He's showing the driver he can be.
Yeah, Philip Meyer has really come on strong here in the past few weeks with some very strong runs, and he was running strong in the preseason as well, so not surprising to see him up here. But going back through the field, sitting right now in 9th place, Chad Klinger. He has some significant right side damage, which came from avoiding the 70 as he spun down onto the apron. The 12 had to take evasive action, smack the wall on the front stretch, now with some heavy right side damage. Does not bode well for him to try and repeat here now tonight.
Yeah, but you never know. That 19, Curtis Young, he's worked his way up there. About the same damage, but on the opposite side of the car. But now that I'm taking a second look at it, that door is completely caved in there right in front of the fender. So some huge aerodynamic damage for that 12 of Chad Klinger. His hopes for 3 in a row, like you said, are over. And as soon as I say that, we've seen crazier things happen at Talladega.
Yeah, we don't know if the entire top 8 could take each other out. Chad Klinger snakes through it and wins it, but, you know, we're going to have a chance to see that in a few laps as the field still works under caution here. This will definitely be the final restart of the night. iRacing does not have any green, white, checkered finishes, so either the checkered flag will fly first or the yellow and then the checker. So white flag means that they'll have to race their way back to the checkered flag. Yellow comes out before the white. Race is over. Where you run is where you finish.
Well, you know, let's talk a little bit about Chad Klinger, where you said with him having some damage. You know, when you think of real racing drivers at Talladega that have raced race cars up front with damage, you come to mind of Kyle Busch or Brad Keselowski. When you think of the Domino's TYJ Racing League and you look at those drivers in real life NASCAR and what they've been able to do in their career, and then what you've seen so far in this league with Domino's TYJ, Chad Klinger's starting to get a name for himself, just like Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski, as guys that are strong and have the ability to win races. So anything is possible, that's for sure.
Yeah, we saw Kyle Busch a couple years ago. You're talking about Kyle. He spun it off the apron at Daytona about 3 or 4 times, Bucky, and you know, in the Budweiser shootout, Sprint Unlimited. Yeah, he did a great job hanging on to it a couple times and ended up coming away with the win. Going back to what me and Tyler were talking about with, you know, the entire field wrecking, he and Cisco and another colleague of ours, Julio, we were in a race here at Talladega, and we were commentating on it about a year ago. The top 10, top 15 all wreck except for 2 cars. And those 2 cars wreck each other coming off of turn 4, coming to get the checker, and a guy running about 16th ended up taking the win. So it's not over till the checker flag flies.
That kind of reminds me of running a carburetor race here on iRacing. I actually missed the start. So I actually missed the start of the race. And once the leaders took the green flag, I was able to come off of pit road. So I was the only car running by myself. Next thing you know, the entire field just takes themselves out. There's no caution, so here I am running up through the field, picking them off one by one. Coming to the white flag, the leaders actually wreck trying to get around a lap race car. and I was actually drafting with them. I was able to miss the wreck, come around and take the checkered and win the race. Interesting.
Yeah, it's not over till it's over. You want to stay in it, stay in the gas, don't pull the pit road. You're gonna draft. Look at the doubles here. Sean Mir, he's almost like a Tony Stewart. He's bored. He's up there drafting the pace car. But
I think the lights are off, aren't they?
lights are off. We're gonna go green flag this time for the final time. Couple laps to go. It's gonna be lap 73 as we cross the line. So it's gonna be 4 laps to go. It's gonna be the final restart of the night. Caution will end it after the drop of the green flag. Hopefully it doesn't happen for all of you. I checked it, about 70 plus people watching. We're going to try and get a good finish for you guys. 16 people on the lead lap right now, and all of them within a shot to win the race. Tyler, this is going to be a great finish. Bucky, you're going to have some stuff to sort out, the finishing order and stuff, if the plate races here on LSRTV have been anything to show.
Well, I'm just looking for a good finish, especially for my pit stops for Hope drivers. Looks like Sean Mir is going to start on the outside, and a couple cars behind him will be his teammate Marcus Potts. Hopefully Marcus can get up there and these guys can go 1-2. Yes, I'm biased.
American Childhood Cancer Association Ford Mustang pulls off onto pit road for the last time tonight. 4 laps to go here when we get the green flag. It's going to be Philip Meyer on the inside, side by side coming to the lines. Check up through 3 wide on the outside. Here comes Marcus Potts. Great rub for him on the outside of the racetrack. It's legal here, so he's going to be coming up to the second row side by side with Curtis Young and the 53 of Ivan Jones. Great move by him, and now he's up there with his teammate.
Hey, you couldn't have predicted something even better. But Sean Mir is actually going to lose some ground to the leaders. Hopefully, once Marcus Potts can connect with him on the back bumper, they can make a charge to battle Philip for the lead.
About a 15-car breakaway up front. That's all your lead lap drivers. We're going to come to lap 74 this time, so 3 laps to go. Tyler, it's going to be set up for a good finish so far. Got that 53. Ivan Jones has not won a race. Philip Meyer has not won a race this year in the Cup Series. Right behind him, 00 and the 19, both, I believe the 19 has got to win this year, but the 00, he's got to win at Daytona, so he's going to try and go 2 for 2 on the plate tracks.
But right now, it is Philip Meyer out in front of this field. The 53 of Ivan Jones was punching that back bumper of the 17, wanting him to go on that restart. Right now, the 17 and 53 are really working together. Except the 17, they're throwing blocks on the 53 as they work their way down the backstretch. Ivan Jones really wants to get out here and win this race. Philip Meyer still holds that inside line and the lead. It looks like the 00 Sean Mir and the 2 of Marcus Potts, the teammates on the outside, they really have not been able to get a run yet on that outside, as you have the top 3, Philip Meyer, Ivan Jones, Curtis Young, 2 laps to go.
They're going to have to connect. They're going to have to go down the back straightaway. Marcus is going to have to get on the back bumper and start pushing, because with them having no help up there, they've got to work together. And you see Philip Meyer, he keeps moving up lanes to keep the second place guy behind him.
Oh, look behind him. Sorry, Bucky, to cut you off. Look at the 19 down to the apron of the racetrack.
Oh, he's going to
spin it sideways. He's going to hit the 88. Can everybody hang on to it? Here they go. 8 gets spun around. Caution is out. Coming to the white flag. Caution is out. Philip Meyer, you are a winner in the Domino's TYJ Cup Series.
Huge wreck in turns 3 and 4. Still trying to sort it out. The 70 of Mike Donahue, the 19 of Curtis Young involved, and more. Just a big mess in turn number 3. All started as the 19 made a move on Ivan Jones in the 53. You go back looking at it.
It looks like the 19 tried to make that move, and he had it successfully on the 53 of Ivan Jones, but 53 just, he wasn't expecting that move, or either that or he purposely pinched him down to the bottom of the racetrack, gave him no room, and 19 had to go to the apron. That transition just screwed up the balance of his car, and he had it saved, but the tires were hot, and he slapped it around again. The car was light, hits the 88 of David May, and it finally collects the 8 of Tyler Roberts, and the 2 of Marcus Potts. He gets through it. He gets through it, but he's going to get some damage. Looks like the 12 of Chad Klinger and the 70 of Mike Donahue also involved.
Yeah, hard hit for Chad Klinger. This could have been a phenomenal points night for him, but he's going to end up pulling it behind the garage with a destroyed race car.
Pace car out in front of the field, but first car registered on the racetrack, that 17, Philip Meyer. He won the Truck Series race at Iowa Speedway, had not had a top 10 all year until that win, and had about the same season in the Cup Series, but that's all going to change tonight. Second win of the year, but the first time in the Cup Series, Philip Meyer wins it in the 17. He's going to win it at Talladega.
Two in a row for Philip Meyer, all the way out in Iowa in the trucks on a short track, comes out here in the Cup car on a super speedway, takes the checkered flag after starting in 17th position. Ivan Jones will finish in second place after starting in 25th. Your pole sitter Sean Muir will round out the podium in third place.
Well, as one streak ends, another one comes to start, and it's going to begin because Chad Klinger had 2 wins in a row at California and Watkins Glen in the Cup Series. Now Philip Meyer in that 17, he's got 2 wins in a row, 1 in the trucks and 1 in the Cup Series. 00 Sean Muir comes up and gives a congratulatory bump to the guy who he basically ran around the entire race, Tyler. As these guys, he's going to get ready to burn it down. We're going to go to commercial break. We're going to grab your top 3 finishers and talk to the 17 in Victory Lane. We'll be right back here from Talladega on LSRTV.
The 2016 iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series is all about change. New teams, new drivers, new tracks, even a new logo. And oh yeah, there's a brand new car. After 5 years of competition, we say goodbye to the Williams FW31 and we say hello to the McLaren MP430. But this isn't just a brand new car, it's a whole new ballgame. And with it, we bring new excitement, new strategies, new technology. For example, energy recovery and drag reduction systems. There's a new way of thinking about racing, and for all the drivers participating, it's back to the drawing board, wiping the slate clean in the ever-consuming pursuit of perfection. One little slip-up, one wrong move on track, one poor strategy call, and it's over. That's the difference between coming up short and becoming champion. and being $10,000 richer to boot. So yeah, changes in the air, but we're going to start getting answers on the 27th of February as the 7th year of iRacing World Championship competition kicks off. And you won't miss a thing, with every single race live on iRacing Live, coverage brought to you by Racebot TV. So join us fortnightly from 1:30 p.m. GMT.
Back here live, Talladega, Alabama. We're at the end of the CNC Crafts by Chad Payne 200. Philip Meyer, your winner. Ivan Jones in second. 00 Sean Muir in third. David May finishes fourth. He was your inaugural winner in the Cup Series at Charlotte. He finishes fourth. Fifth goes to the second place, or to the 2-car Marcus Potts. Tyler, Steve Cunningham, Jim Locking, Robert McFarland, Russ Coe, and Mike Donahue round out your top 10.
Yeah, your final car on the lead lap and involved in that second to last lap caution, Tyler Roberts in the 8th finishes 11th. Brent Rogers, Jeff Wilkie, Judd Danielson, Joe Owen, Ellery Queen, Curtis Young, Chad Klinger, Don Norris, and Gary Weston round out your top 20.
21st goes to Brad Roast. We saw him start in the 4th position, was up front for a little while, but he finishes 2 laps down to the 21st position. 28, Gerald Heffley, we saw him up front toward the end, finishes 22nd. 9, Chad Payne finishes 23rd. 24th, Curtis Aho. 25th, Brent Scott. Justin Anderson, Dean Viney, Zachary Duba, Lynn McNeese, and David Gainforth in the 101 finishes out your top 30.
31st goes to Dennis Cook, Ray Schmidt. 32nd, Joshua Ramos. 33rd, Bobby Jonas. 34th. 35th, Eric Hawk. Gary Brown finishes 36th. Moses Nesareco, 37th. Justin Faulkner, 38th. Ryan Steinecker, involved in the first wreck on the night, finishes 39th. Kevin Fetty, 40th. Patrick Elhofer finishes 41st. And Paul Fugit, who had troubles early on in the race with connection, finishes caboose on the field in 42nd place.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get our post-race underway. Bucky, I know you're a very proud team owner because you get to go down to pit road, talk to both of your drivers, Marcus Potts and Sean Muir. Bucky, take it away.
Thank you, Gabe. Yeah, I'm down here in the garage talking with my 2 drivers, pit stops for Hope Motorsports, Sean Muir and Marcus Potts. Sean, Marcus, you both look like to have it in the bag by running 3rd and 4th working together, and then come to pit road and you just get separated. Tell us about the strategy after pit road there and trying to get back together to finish the race 1-2.
Well, we were they actually got caught speeding, so we were scrambling trying to figure out what was going on. Chad and Marcus both got caught, unfortunately. And then on top of that, we had the caution come out right behind us, and we're just all sorts of confused of what's going on. Unfortunately, they got pulled to the back, and I was debating whether to go in and pit, because our strategy was we were just going to take gas and go and see what we had. We had an 8-second lead on the next group, and I didn't get my stuff switched over like everyone else, so I unfortunately was out there on 50-something lap tires, just hanging on for dear life, hoping not to do anything dumb. And we made it work, though. We managed to get him back up there. Chad unfortunately got involved with something, and we managed to try and do something on the outside. We didn't get any help, really. Everyone wanted to go for it themselves, and we saw a big one happen there.
Now, Marcus, I noticed you're trying to work real hard to get back through the field to try and get back up with Sean Muir. What was it like? Because it looked like you got stalled there quite a bit. What was it like going through your mind and knowing that you're running out of laps to get back up to the front?
My main thing was, after that we had that caution, after the three of us got broken up, was to stay with Chad and hopefully go through him with the field, because we had to go to the end of the longest line. Just follow him through the field and hopefully stay with him until we get to the other pack, start there. Him and Tyler went at it, and then I got a little bit behind, but they gladly came back to me, and they picked me up, and we went to the front, and everything played out from there, really.
A third and fifth place for my drivers in pit stops for Hope Motorsports. Is there any chance we'll see the Talladega Nights paint schemes make a return to the Domino's TYJ Racing League?
Might probably keep that a secret. We don't know for sure yet, but we might.
10-4. Back to you, Gabe.
Unfortunately, we cannot catch up with the 53 Ivan Jones, your second place finisher. Apparently he's gotten out of here, but congratulations to him nonetheless. But I'm down here in Talladega Victory Lane. Philip Meyer, you make it 2 in a row, one win in the Truck Series, and now you're a winner in the Cup Series. Congratulations.
Thank you. I couldn't have it any other way. That's my first win in the Cup car ever.
A big milestone for you. We talked about as you rode under your cool-down lap, you upset Chad Klinger. He had 2 wins in a row in the Cup Series, and as soon as that streak comes to an end, you start your own as 2 wins in a row, so you got to have a lot of momentum coming in leaving tonight.
I can't wait for the rest of the season. The first part of the season started off kind of rough. Got taken out in a lot of races, but it's really starting to turn around.
Yeah, we saw you. You didn't have that good of finishes in the Truck Series, and you ended up coming away with the win. And same deal here. And we expect to see you, if not get up in the championship chase by the end of the year. Season 2, it's got to be feeling good for you. You finally got that win under your belt. That's got to feel good.
It certainly does. This is my third win. I won in the preseason race in the trucks at Las Vegas on New Year's Day, and so then I followed it up with the win at Iowa last week in the trucks, and today at Talladega. I really couldn't have asked for it any other way. I saw that someone get behind me and make a pretty crazy move. I knew the race was over. I only had about 1 lap of fuel to the good if we didn't get that last caution.
So caution fell at the perfect moment. Another perfect moment, that wreck in turn 4 with 2 laps to go coming to get the white flag. We saw you had to see Curtis Young in the rearview mirror make the move on Ivan Jones and get pissed and end up spinning out. What was your feeling as soon as you saw him spin sideways and the caution come out? You think any of those guys, if the caution didn't come out, could have made a run at you?
That was exactly what I was just talking about. When I saw, even before he went sideways, I just saw the move in my rearview mirror. I knew for a fact that it was going to lead to catastrophe and victory. As far as making a run, there wasn't really anything developing on the outside line, and it was getting really close to the end of the race. As long as I could have kept Ivan behind me, then I think I would have stayed up front.
Now you had to have had the most well-timed caution with the guys like Chad Klinger, Sean Muir, and the rest of these guys, the 2 of Marcus Potts, all pitting. Looks like the 00 or one of the guys pulls up the racetrack, and the 112 just couldn't get out of the way and ended up wrecking and causing a caution. That allowed you to get back on the lead lap, and you didn't have to pit, and you assumed, what was it, the 4th position?
Yeah, I was honestly praying for that caution because I knew I wasn't going to make it on fuel if we didn't have another caution. I just didn't want it to happen right in front of me like that, but it did. We made it through it, so all good. And it turns out that I probably needed that last caution. Like I said, I was 1 lap to the good, but to talking about perfect timing, not only was that last caution good timing and the caution before that, but the first caution was good timing because that was the last time I filled up for a full tank of fuel for the rest of the race.
I'll tell you what, Philip, after the season you've had, I'm kind of glad to see you finally got that golden horseshoe stuck up somewhere because you sure have not had the luck, but you've got it now because you're a two-time winner in Domino's. Congratulations. Any sponsors you want to thank before we let you celebrate?
Oh, sure. There's a few people that make the number 17 Chevrolet SS go. Like I said, my best friend Zach Messmer makes all my paint schemes. JLR Motorsports, they put a great car underneath me, a great crew, great team, great communication. I really enjoy running with those guys. That would be Josh Ramos, Jeff Wilkie, Dennis Cook, Justin Anderson, Chad Klinger. He runs on our chat channel. Domino's Pizza. I love their pizza. Robert McFarland, thank you very much for putting this all together. He puts a lot of work into this. And then I'd like to say my condolences to Dylan Brockwell's family. It's a very, very, very tragic story, and it really breaks my heart to hear of his passing.
Well, we're glad you're keeping his family in thoughts. But Philip, it's a happy time for you. Congratulations on the win. I'm going to let you celebrate. I'm going to throw it back up to the booth. Tyler, Bucky, final thoughts on the race. Tyler, go to you first.
Thank you very much.
That was one of the greatest finishes I think I've seen, just in terms of intensity. Everyone turned it up there on the finish. Unfortunately, it ends under yellow because we were looking at an even more dramatic finish as it was. Congratulations to Philip Mayer. Mayer running that race perfectly in terms of fuel strategy, and just couldn't have asked for a better finish there.
You know, one thing that I want to reflect on after watching this race is team loyalty. I know that at the restrictor plate races, you got to have good teammates, and we witnessed that with the Pit Stops for Hope guys, Sean Muir and Marcus Potts working together and relying on each other. And also want to give a shout out to the RCR pit department guys. They were watching the broadcast tonight, and they've been a huge developing partner, if you will, with the Pit Stops for Hope team, and Marcus Potts, and training him to be a pit member. So we definitely want to give a shout out to the RCR pit department guys for watching tonight's race. And the biggest thing I take away is you never know who's going to end up winning this thing, but teamwork is the best strategy, and that's exactly what we saw tonight.
Oh, yeah, when we dropped the green flag earlier tonight, I was for sure it was going to be that 0-0 in victory lane. He was just so fast from the drop of the green flag. Sat it on the pole. I thought the only person that really upset him was that 12 of Chad Klinger, but it ended up being 17 of Philip Mayer in victory lane. Well, as we pass the 10:30 mark on the East Coast, it's time to say goodbye here from Talladega Super Speedway. On behalf of me, Gabriel Wood, Bucky Burt, Tyler Herr, we'd like to thank you for joining us here for the CNC Crafts by Chad Payne 200. Join us next time and Friday night back here on LSRTV for the iSuper Speedway Series and Rod Car Truck Tour. Congratulations to Philip Mayer, and we'd also like to say condolences again to the Brockwell family, and a real big friend of basically everybody here on iRacing, and especially the LSRTV team, Dylan Brockwell. Fly high, my man. We'll see you again. Thank you for joining us from Talladega. Good night.